Good afternoon, everybody. How are we feeling? How are we doing? Woo! Yes, you can make all of the noise. This is the time, I promise you, in the library where it's acceptable. So good afternoon, everyone. I promise y'all, we did not plan the matching outfits. Just great minds think alike. I know what y'all was thinking. You were definitely thinking that?
We didn't plan it.
We did not choose today, but this is cute. Okay, with that being said, welcome to Outspoken Saturdays. We are here at the wonderful Boston Public Library at the Newsfeed Cafe, and I am so happy to see you all here. Can I get a little commotion if you are happy to be back with us? Woo! How many people is it their first time seeing an Outspoken Saturday? Show of hands, show of hands. You can also make some noise. Oh, wow. Well, welcome to all the newbies in the room. We love it, we love it. And also, did y'all know that it's April? It's National Poetry Month. So give a round of applause for that. I like to do a little room check, so can we get some snaps? You know, in poetry, we snap. Can I get some claps? Yes. Can I get some like you just took a really good piece of chicken and ate it? Can I get a yes? Can I get go off, poet?
Go off, poets!
Oh, because we have a whole bunch of poets today for you in store. For anyone who is new here, which there's a lot of you, welcome to Outspoken Saturdays. This is a curated poetry show designed for poets to speak their truth, share their story, and celebrate what really matters to you. And yes, in case you did not know, that is the GBH slogan. This month, we are celebrating my favorite, National Poetry Month. Making this event even more special, we are honoring the poets of the past while also holding space to those shaping the craft today. And today we have the honor of sharing the stage with a group of young poets that are mentored by a very talented, multidisciplinary artist, Jalyse Ware. No, we got to give more round of applause for that. Oh, did somebody have a whistle? Yes! Blow the whistle. With that being said, a lot of y'all are being introduced to her today as Jalyse Ware, but I also know her in the city as Cakeswagg. One of the rappers that is really leading the way and really doing the work, but on her off time when she is not being on stages with her dancers and her other performers, she is also the educator and instructor of the theater elective at Codman Academy. Now, Jalyse.
Yes.
You know I know you.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the history of this group and what's about to be on stage today for folks who do not know.
Yes, so the theater elective, specifically at Codman, is not a new program, although it has been restructured. So it was a program prior to COVID. It used to run on Saturdays at the Huntington. The theater elective, both of them, we have one that happens during the day for our high school students, grades 9 through 12, and then one that happens at the end of the day as a part of the encore programming that is for grades 6th through 12th. So these two programs are run through the Huntington with their partnership with Codman, a partnership that is a little over 2 decades old, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, wow. 25 years, a quarter of a century old, this partnership. And now it's been restructured so that the theater elective, specifically the group that is here with us today, is part of the high school program that happens during the day. And today it's gonna be really exciting because they performed a piece at the end of the first half of the school year in December called Changing Along the Way. It is a novel in verse that they have choreography to. They'll be performing that. But specifically when they were asked to be here for April 4th, they wrote a second series of poems titled April 4th that is about April 4th, 1968, when we lost Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So those are the two collections that they'll be performing today.
I love that you all are clapping in the front. You guys can give a round of applause for that. so historic, and I'm gonna just give a little bit of the backstory. So I remember for Poetry Out Loud, I was chosen to be an adjudicator for the competition. And for those who do not know, Poetry Out Loud is exactly what, Jalyse, for those who do not know at home?
Oh, so Poetry Out Loud is a national poetry competition that includes all of our states and territories where students at the high school level pick poems from a database of our poets. And they perform these poems at their high school, and winners that are selected go on to regionals and semis and nationals that happens in Washington, D.C. Specifically, this poem was curated to really bridge the gap between our young people and poetry. Sometimes they don't necessarily see themselves in the art. So by having Poetry Out Loud, which Codman has had for 25 years, having Poetry Out Loud, it allows the students to interact with poetry in another way. It allows them to say the words out loud of these poets that have shaped so much of what our country is through their art. And they get to connect with it in that way by reading and reciting the poetry. And it's not just Codman, it is a national competition that our school is a part of in supporting that in the arts.
And to give a little bit of context to that as well, a lot of the poets that they are taking out of this database are now currently being banned from the database because of the president that we have right now. And I'm just going to be very frank. You know, these are poets like Emily Dickinson, Nikki Giovanni, Maya Angelou, Langston Hughes, where these students have to basically embody these pieces, recite these poems, but give life and emotion to them. So when some people are saying, oh, well, poetry is all original works, that's not necessarily true. Poetry Out Loud begins, just like Brave New Voices, begins with reciting other people's pieces to be able to embody those pieces and bring them to life. But then it also inspires other young poets to start their own original works. I think it's an amazing program, and if folks do not know, Poetry Out Loud is still withstanding. They're constantly looking for adjudicators, judges, volunteers. So if you can ever give some help, please look them up on their website to apply. How important and also discouraging is that? To be in a database where we obviously are in a library, so we also understand that there are books being banned currently. What does that feel like to have poets also be banned as well?
So what I will say is, speaking from the perspective of our students, they had students at Codman, but students really countrywide. A lot of them they had to pick from a smaller pool of poems for the competition. Now, what a lot of schools did is they allowed students to still pick poems that are available in via the Poetry Foundation, poems that actually spoke to them as a person, but it gave them more work, right? Yes. Because if they won, then they would have to pick a poem from what was left of the database, which is all great poems. It's just a smaller number, and then they would have to work to memorize those sets of poems to then perform, because what they were allotted to use was limited. And I think that the reason Poetry Out Loud was created is because they wanted students to be able to see themselves in the poetry. And what happens when you strip a database, or when you eliminate poets from a database, you kind of make the margin that students can see themselves in so much smaller. And yet, somehow, some way, the youth that we have still found a way to see themselves, to find poems that they could resonate with. Sometimes it meant doing a little bit more work, a little bit more research, but they still found a way to do it. And I think that is what's beautiful about poetry, is that it kind of evokes this resilience that the students displayed, which we saw some of even during Poetry Out Loud when you came to visit us. So
I was incredibly blown away by this group. And before I ask my second to my last question, I just first also want to accredit you. Slam poetry has a very negative connotation oftentimes because it's competitive. So when people ask me, Amanda, I want to come up to GBH Outspoken Saturdays, but I'm not a spoken word poet, I'm a slam poet. There is a difference between that. But to me, there is no difference. You're still performing your work from your heart and putting it out in the world. The only difference, I believe, between spoken word and slam is that it is a competition and you are being judged upon it. Number one, you, as a slam poet, your poem cannot exceed more than 3 minutes and 30 seconds, depending on the rules and where you're actually doing the slam, because some slams do differ. And then the other thing is that you are judged upon it from 0 to 10. 0 being the worst thing, give this up, this is not your field, this is not your craft, please keep practicing. And 10 being the highest score that you can possibly get. And over the years working with young people, we've heard a lot of it being discouraging for them and just not having really good experiences. Whereas with poetry out loud, you are reciting somebody else's work and trying to embody that. Memorization is extremely difficult, but so is performance, right? So we get up here, we get the nerves, we think we have it, and sometimes even poets like myself can blank completely. How important do you think it is to hold space for these poets to be able to not only compose their own original work, but also embody somebody else's work?
I think it's incredibly important for them to be able to embody someone else's work. It's just as important as writing your own work because there is a foundation that has already been set. The poets that have been creating poetry for hundreds, some thousands of years prior to this, they started something, and when you, as young poets, when they're creating and building on that, they're building on a foundation that's been set for them. So it's so important for them to understand, right, poetry that has already been written and produced and published. It's so important for them to understand that, to understand the text, to understand what's on the page, what's intentionally left off the page, right? I talk to them about this all the time, to understand these things as they begin to write for themselves. Because it's a tool book that they've been given. And then even if you don't want to write poetry, it's still a tool book that you can just use for so many other things. So that's why all of the students that are coming up in the theater elective they've all done poetry. They've done poetry out loud, or they've been to poetry out loud prior to them writing poetry. And for most of these students, this class is the first time that they took a dive into writing their own works.
That's what I'm really excited about, but I want to change the narrative a little bit and just switch gears and talk about you. So we're in National Poetry Month, as we know, and I met Cakeswagg, Jalyse, as a rapper, hip-hop artist, and I think it's really important that we don't lose track of that either, because some people are like, well, wait, you're doing a theater elective and you're teaching poetry, but let's be very clear. Hip-hop is poetry. It just got a backing track behind it. Y'all can clap a little louder than that. Hip-hop is poetry. And we often hear about the last poets. Yeah. The last poets was the people that pioneered hip-hop and rap music. So I'm not going to ask you the obvious of how you got into this, because clearly you're a lyricist yourself. Words matter, and words are spells. And if we're not careful with how we word and how we speak, we can cast spells on each other and over our own destinies. But what got you into being an instructor for theater elective, and particularly with Codman Academy?
So, let's see. How did this start? So, as far as my involvement in theater goes, I've been performing in the performing arts my whole life. So, my mom went to the Elma Lewis School of Fine Arts. As most people know, there's an Elma Lewis Center at Emerson. And at Boston Arts Academy. So my mom she went to the Elma Lewis School of Fine Arts. Langston Hughes gave Elma Lewis the rights to produce produced one of his plays, The Black Nativity, which still performs every December in Boston. And I was in that play. I played, I played Baby Jesus, and I did the narration. I was a narrator in that play until I left to go to a college in New York for theater. I went to the American Musical and Dramatic Academy for that. So I've been doing theater for a long time. And then as far as coming into theater and working with Codman, that was actually the director of education at the Huntington, Meg O'Brien. So she's
Shout
here
out to
today. She's helping
Meg.
us. She's sitting in the.
Don't hide. Let's
I
give
know,
a round of
she's
applause to
sitting in the
Meg.
I'm sorry, Meg. So I was teaching some hip hop, and I was teaching some of the littles in theater. And Meg interviewed me. She said, you know what? I think you'll be a perfect fit. And I was introduced to Codman. She was like, you know what? I'm going to have you work with me. So I got to work with Meg, and I had freshmen for one of the Huntington programs for 9th grade. So 9th grade is where they do poetry out loud for the first half of the year. And then the second half of the year, they do a final showcase, which is typically on the Wembley stage at the Calderwood, which is one of Huntington's theaters that we facilitate and see. So I did that with Meg for 2 years. And then what was really cool about this year is we got to bring the theater elective back to Codman. And Codman, yeah, it's really exciting. And Codman expanded their program, and we have Encore. So we have 2 theater programs at Codman that if you all have youth that are looking for schools, Codman is great. And we have programming for these youth at the lower level and the upper level in theater. So
I just want to give you your flowers in person, in real time, because I don't even think the audience knows what we're about to be in for, but I do want to give them a little bit of a sneak peek of what they can expect to see today from these lovely youth.
Oh, give them a sneak peek?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Fine. So you all are getting ready to see 2 pieces. The first is a collection of poems that the theater elective students wrote. These are very, very new works. Like they wrote them specifically for you all for today. Yeah. And that series is entitled April 4th. It is about April 4th, 1968, when we lost Dr. Martin Luther King. And they just thought that it would be really profound to celebrate that. Oftentimes, we celebrate joyous things, and that's great. But I do think that, and one of the things that we spoke about in class is just remembering events that have occurred, some of which are difficult, so that they don't happen again. And I think sometimes we try to stray away from that, pick a new date. Like we have January, sometimes it falls on the 5th. His birthday's January 15th, but we have MLK Day, usually the Monday after, whenever it falls on the calendar. And that's amazing and important. And also, it's important to remember some of the things that have happened in our democracy, and the fight for free speech and the fight for equality, which they'll be talking about today. And then the second piece, which is the piece that got them here, is entitled Changing Along the Way. And they wrote it as, it's a story. It's a story told through poetry. We call those novels in verse. And they have some choreography that accompanies that. And that series is really about what it is to be a young person whose body's changing, whose mind is changing, ideas and thoughts are changing, friends are changing, circumstances around them, and just really having those like pivotal moments in high school where you have to start making some real decisions about the rest of your future. So those are the 2 collections of poetry that you all will be hearing from them today.
They look so excited, but they also look very nervous. Y'all got this. I saw y'all in person. I do want to name, and I started to give you your flowers, Jalyse, but I want to keep showering you with your bouquets because this is not easy work. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, especially being an artist and not only balancing your own career, but also ensuring that you're empowering and preparing the youth that are coming up from behind us to be in a position where they can be comfortable, also speak their truth, be authentic in their craft, because that's also very important as an artist. You know, as you're speaking and I'm like, wow, they're looking at Nikki Giovanni. I was shocked at how many folks chose Audre Lorde, Langston Hughes, Maya Angelou, and Nikki Giovanni. I was just really taken aback because I'm like, these are not easy pieces and they encompass so much emotion. So I just want to give you your flowers because I was watching you, and that's what I do. I'm an observer, and I watch, and I'm watching how they're coming up on stage, they're getting prepared, how you're loving on them and hugging them and encouraging them before and after the stage. I even had somebody witness somebody have a very visceral reaction and started emoting immediately when they got on stage and watched how they took a beat. You held them in that moment and they still pushed through that piece. That to me, I think, before I cry, because I'm very emotional, that to me meant more than anything else of the whole evening, and I'll tell you why. It is extremely hard to be able to speak your truth and also be in a competition, because let's be clear, Poetry Out Loud is also a competition. They are being judged on that craft and they are moving on to the next level, whether it be semifinals or finals. But what made you stand out to me was the care and the kindness and the mindfulness that you had with each and every single one of them. They looked happy to be there. Even though they were nervous, they were happy and they were proud of what they did. And that is all attributed to you as well, because without a good leader, you're not able to be your best. So I just want to give you your flowers. Thank you so much for the work that you do, that you are going to continue to do. The fact that this is its second year with you and now it's a fully funded program is incredible. So I just want to give you your round of applause and snaps and claps. Y'all can join me in that for the work that you do. And I say that from the bottom of my heart. I know we talk offline, but like to be able to see you in your own craft. Jalyse got some videos on YouTube that y'all can go run up right now. She is one of the most innovative and imaginative and creative people in our city. She has inspired a lot of other artists in the city of Boston. I already told you, I was like, I see where your influence is at and your impact. And more so I see it with the young people. And I know this is gonna sound really somber, but we are the new ancestors. Yeah. They are the now, but they are also the future as well. Mm-hmm. So everything that you are doing is just empowering them to be the best version of themselves. So when they go out in this world, they can help others find their voice as well.
Right. And I thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And I would say that's why we do this work. Sometimes you just think about what does it mean for you as an artist, and your work has more meaning when you know that you're doing it to make sure that you can empower another generation to be able to do that as well. And it's interesting, the student that you're talking about, they performed We Wear the Mask by Paul Laurence Dunbar when they started emoting on stage. And right now, or even as a student, sometimes you come in, you go, especially high school's rough, and you put on a mask, right? You don't give your peers, you don't give everyone all of you. And one of the things that poetry does is it makes you really have to tap into those moments and those emotions about why you wear a mask, why you only give part of yourself to the world. And those are the questions that we ask students as we prepare them. We ask them all the time. We're like, hey, what do you think the author meant when he said this? Or when she said that? When they said this? What do you think this poet meant? we ask these questions and they answer them and they embody those feelings and emotions into their work. So we're really fortunate that when we coach them in these spaces and we have these breakthroughs. And that was a real breakthrough moment for that student. And it was powerful because that's a student that maybe 2-3 months ago would have been like, this is too much for me. But they chose in that moment to still push through. They chose to showcase all the work that they had put in for months on that specific poem and really do that. But that's what poetry does. That's how healing and revealing poetry can be. And we are fortunate enough to be able to see this with young people who are going to then hopefully one day do that for another generation of young people. And I think that for me as an artist, that's why I do this. I want them to see me and be like, I can still have a career. I can still follow a dream that I love and also pour into my community and also do things for others, because you can do both. You know, sometimes the world will try to convince you that you have to pick one or the other, and that's not necessarily true. You can still pour into people while you're still following your own dreams.
And how do you measure impact? You can't. You can't. At the same time, you have impacted all of these students, and you are going to continue to do so. And you are also impacting a lot of adults here in this space right now, just hearing your testimony, because you do not have to be in a box, and you can be multifaceted. And not only is representation important, but the example is as well, and you are that.
Thank
you. Thank you. Are we ready to get into some of these poems?
You ready?
How y'all feeling? Y'all ready?
You got this. You got this.
How can people, before we get into them, how can people support you, support Codman Academy, and support poetry in the theater elective?
I'm so glad you asked this question. So, folks, if you would like to support the theater elective, so to be clear, there's two. We have one that happens during the day, one that happens at the end of the day. You can come and see them in June. They will be having their final showcase performances in the Codman Black Box. We have a Black Box theater at Codman, yes. It was designed by some of the people who do our architecture at the Huntington Theatre. So it is a fully equipped black box with lighting and sound, which we will be tapping into specifically for these two final showcases there. You can also support the freshmen and sophomores at the Wembley Theatre May 28th. We'll be posting about that. There is a link for it. It is free and open to the public. So you get to see these students perform in two dynamic and very different performance spaces. If you have youth who want to be involved in the arts, the Huntington, we have a lot of great programming there. Codman Academy, we have theater that is through the Huntington that is part of their curriculum. But then we also have theater they could choose, like the students who are here right now. So those are ways to be involved with what we have going on with the Codman Academy and the Huntington. Please follow us on socials, and you'll see all of the things that we're continuing to build out program-wise. This is our first year. There's so much more to come. We're going to be doing so much more, and I just really appreciate you all taking the time to listen to these things and to hear what our young people have to say.
Y'all, give a big round of applause to Jalyse Ware. And make sure you follow on all social media platforms. We gonna get into the poets, y'all. Ready? Can I get a yeah, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Can I get a go off poets?
Go off, poets.
Can I get Period. We're gonna be with you right in 2 minutes. Thank you so much, Jalyse, for being on our program, and we're gonna get into our first poet.
Perfect.
I want to welcome up our first poet. Hi, Mychaella Etienne.
Hi.
Hi. I just want to interview you very briefly, if that's okay. So we're going to ask each student 2 questions before they get into their poetry. So I'm going to need all the snaps and claps. So give it up for Mychaella Etienne. Hi, Mychaella.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. What does poetry mean to you?
Poetry to me means a way that people can express themselves without being judged. I feel like Poetry Loud really showed me that. I feel like when you're up there and how you were talking about the student that cried, they didn't feel judged, they felt supported when people were snapping and cheering them on. So I feel like it's really a good way for people to support you and express your feelings.
Ooh, and what does your original artwork mean to you? Like when you're composing poetry, how do you put that all together? Like, do you need a quiet space? Do you need to have some music going? What is it that gets the juices flowing for your art?
Really music. I love music. I love listening to it. I can't work without it. I need music all the time. So having a vibey space, a moody space really helps me work.
And what has your experience been like working with the theater elective?
At first, I really joined the theater elective to help with my public speaking because I knew it was something that I was really good at, and I knew it would help me with poetry out loud. So it really helped me get a head start on it, and for me to be like excel in speaking publicly. So yeah.
Well, we're gonna put that to the test right now. Are you ready to get into your poem?
Yes.
Give it up for Mychaella Etienne performing on the day of April 4th.
On the day, April 4th, the day turned cold and sad. A great man was taken. A blanket of grief covered the earth. From shore to shore, there wasn't a soul who didn't know, who wouldn't remember. Martin Luther King Jr. stood for peace and what was right, but hate ended his life that night. A hate he never returned, a hate no sound-minded wouldn't condemn. He dreamed of a world where all were free, where people were judged fairly, a world for you and me. His words were strong, they gave us hope, a hope we need now just as much as we did then. They helped so many learn to cope, a soothing melody reminiscent of gospel and jazz. Even though he is gone today, his words are near. His dreams still guide us on our way. We walk without fear, and we remember him in what we do and say. Thank you.
Y'all give it up one more time for Mychaella Etienne. Up next, our next interviewee and poet. Please welcome to the stage, Ayne Briceno. Hello, Ayne. How are you today?
I'm great.
Great. You look excited. Are you happy to be here?
I am.
I'm so happy to have you.
I'm really excited to perform.
Yes, Ayne, I'm excited as well. And I'm going to be asking you the same amount of questions, but before we begin, we all want to make sure that we can hear you nice and loud. So just keep the mic up to your mouth and speak right directly into it. So, Ayne, what does poetry mean to you?
Poetry is a way to express yourself. It's a way to get rid of all the bottled up emotions that you have up inside of you and voice those expressions in a way that won't harm anyone else.
That was a beautiful answer. What is your experience working with the theater elective?
Working with the theater elective has been one of the better parts of going to Codman Academy. I really love being able to come connect with my peers, have a set time of the day where I'm going somewhere and doing something that I like to do.
Without further ado, we're going to get right into Ayne's poetry. So, Ayne, you are actually performing Stand today for us, yes?
Yes.
So,
They see the color of my skin, expecting me to shrink. Yet here I stand. With the wall of silence even hate can't climb. We continue to protest until they acknowledge our time. A time given without request or permission. A time given with minimal thank yous. And yet here I still am. Here we still are. Though weapons aren't batons and violence isn't dogs, they still attack our peace. Batons hidden in legislation fight our speech. They expect fists and anger, not silence and resilience. But we still stand for human rights. We still stand. Thank you.
Please welcome up to the stage next, Emils Bello Pena. Hi, Emils. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing really well. I'm excited to hear your poetry. What does poetry mean to you?
So for me, poetry is a way where you can tell the people a story where the words are kind of like hitting you with a meaning where you can relate to.
Y'all really have this poetry down packed. What is your experience working with the theater elective?
Oh, so my experience with the theater elective it was fun because ever since my freshman year that we had the chance to perform for the Huntington, I felt like I discovered like a passion that I never knew that I had before. So when this year Codman Academy brought up the encore and electives where you can choose to do theater, I decided to give it another try because I thought that, hey, my freshman and sophomore plays weren't like not enough for me. I wanted to give more. I wanted to give it like a try to see like where how far I can go with it.
And look at how far we are going. Do you see where you're at right now?
Yeah.
With that being said, y'all, we're gonna get you set up to do your piece, and today you're performing for us A Dreamer's Voice. So, well, let's get you all the way set up so we can hear your piece. Y'all get up for Emils.
From Georgia's soil, a voice arose. Martin Luther King, where justice lived and flowed. He saw a nation torn apart by prejudice, left with nothing but a broken heart. With non-violent grace, he led the way, demanding freedom come what may. Through marches bold and speeches clear, he fought for equality, dispelling fear. That I have a dream, he bravely spoke, a future where all hearts awoke. His legacy, a guiding light, for racial justice burning bright. Thank you.
Our next poet to the stage who will be interviewing and providing us a poem, please give it up for Vicky Jean. Hi, Vicky. Have a seat. How are you doing today?
Good.
Good. I'm so happy that you all are here this afternoon. What does poetry mean to you?
Poetry is a way for me to express my feelings in a new perspective because I'm not really good with directly expressing how I feel.
You know, that's exactly why I got into poetry, because I don't like to really communicate my feelings, but I can write them out. Is that the same for you?
Yeah.
What's your experience with working with the theater elective?
At first, I didn't like it because I'm not someone who enjoys public speaking, but committing to it made me feel a little more better with publicly speaking, and I feel more better performing in front of people.
I've seen you in person before, and that confidence, I would never be able to tell that you wasn't comfortable.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Are you excited to do your poem? Because we're going to get right on in it.
Yeah.
And Vicky, today you are performing for us. Peace can be louder than anger shouts.
Yes.
Yes, that's a nice title. Y'all give it up for Vicky Jean.
Peace can be louder than anger's shout, a quiet force that turns the world about. Marching feet on patient and impatient streets. Hope rises where courage meets. No fist raised high, no hate replied, yet walls of injustice slowly untied. One's voice spoke of dreams so wide, and millions walked right by his side. Through calm resolve, the truth was clear, that love can conquer rage and fear. A path he showed for all to see, strongest power, peaceful dignity. Thank you.
Up next, please give a round of applause for Maka Ali. Hi, Maka. How you
Hi,
doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. I love the speaking voice. You was ready. Okay. What does poetry mean to you, Maka?
Poetry means I feel like poetry to me, it means to speak out for others that can't speak out for themselves, and also just to express myself in a different kind of way of just instead of keeping it all bottled up, instead of speaking out.
I love that response, okay? Especially for people who do not have a voice. What is your experience with working with the theater elective? How has it been going for you?
In the beginning, I was kind of excited for it. That's why I joined. And then in the middle, I was getting iffy because of all the memorizing. And for me, I think it's hard for me to memorize, but then I obviously get it. And then towards the end, I was really excited for this, getting on live and stuff.
It's okay. There's nobody here. It's just us, okay? So don't even look at nobody else. We're in our living room, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that you brought that up, and I'm going to ask you one more question I didn't ask anybody else. What are some of your tips and tricks for memorizing?
I would just say repeating it to yourself when you have time, in the shower, in the mirror, in your room, whenever you have free time,
I love that. And how important is it for you to love your piece?
Could you repeat that question?
How important is it for you to love your piece, to be able to memorize it?
I'm not really sure, but could you repeat the question?
I sure can.
In a different way, please.
Yes, I love that you asked in that way. In order to memorize pieces, I've found that you have to like them, right?
Mm-hmm.
At bare minimum. How much do you love your original work to be able to memorize them?
For me, it's being able to relate to my work is I can really speak from the heart because I connect to the poem that I've written.
And that was the answer I was looking for, okay? So we're gonna get you settled with the mic stand, and we're gonna hear an original work from Maka called Martin Luther King Spoke Up.
Martin Luther King spoke up. He kept on going, willing to fight. He had a dream for everyone, a world where you could stand by me and see me. 5 decades and more removed from the date, and he inspires me each day. We celebrate his life, and we also remember. It's easier to rejoice in January, but on April 4th, we remember. They may have tried to silence the messenger, but that message rings true today, loud and clear. Martin Luther King spoke up today. He inspires me each day. Thank you.
Next up to the stage, we are interviewing Junielia Bailey. I got some more questions to ask you. Junielia, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
I'm really good. I just heard a little birdie just told me that this is your last year. You a senior?
Yes.
You're about to graduate?
Yes.
Are you excited?
Yeah.
But a little sad, right?
Yeah.
It's weird how that works. What are your top 2 choices? I know what they are, but I would love for you to tell the audience.
My top 2 choices are Suffolk and Northeastern.
Oh, you gonna get both of them. You gonna get both of them. Junielia, what does poetry mean to you?
For me, poetry is a way like to tell like your story. And what I love about it is that you could be vague so it resonates with more people, or you could be specific so you hit a certain audience, you know?
I love that answer, and I'm gonna like counteract that response really quick. How much of your poetry are you truth-telling? Because in poetry, we know it could be fact or fiction. Are you a truth-teller in your poetry, or do you sometimes lean into the fiction?
Truth, all truth.
Period. We gotta be have the truth. I was trying to trip you up, but you a senior. You caught me right there. She's like, girl, I'm going to Suffolk or Northeastern. What does the experience of the theater elective, how has it been to you thus far? And what does it feel like to have to leave it?
Being a senior at Codman, I've been through, you know, Poetry Out Loud, August Wilson, the Huntington plays for like the 9th and 10th graders. I came into the theater elective thinking it was gonna be like another, give me a script and I like recite it in front of people. But for me to like have to make my own poetry and like memorize it and recite it was a very new experience, and I really did enjoy it.
Do you think it's grown you a little bit as far as your confidence and how you speak and communicate with other folks?
Yeah, it has. I've always been closed off, and theater has helped me to like open up, and then to having to put your like emotions on a paper and then recite it in front of people, it makes you become more outgoing, more,
More out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah. See what I did there? Poetry out loud. Okay. With that being said, are we ready to get into your piece?
Yes.
I am so excited to hear this. Junielia is doing The Meaning of Justice in America.
Justice should mean fairness for every voice, not something decided by power or choice. Dr. King stood tall and spoke with pride, dreaming of a world where we all stand side by side. He marched for rights and refused to stay quiet, believing peace was stronger than any riot. Because of his courage, the nation began to see a future where people could truly be free. We may still be fighting, but I'm not tired yet. His dream still guides what we do today as we keep working to build a better way. Thank you.
Y'all, like, they're writers, okay? This is incredible. Up next, please put your hands together for our next poet, Alenny Guerrero!
Oh my God. Sorry.
I do the same thing every time. Hi. How you doing?
I'm good. A little bit nervous.
It's okay. It's just me and you. Don't worry about any of them. How are we feeling today? Outside of the nerves, like, you excited to be here?
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm excited to hear your poetry. What does poetry mean to you, Alenny?
Poetry means to me, poetry is where you can show like your expression. Where sorry.
Take your time.
To me, poetry is where people show their expression with their feelings and their experiences, and they use it with creative language.
Perfect answer. How is your experience working with the theater elective?
I would say it's pretty good, except I don't really like doing the memorization or like rehearsals. I just like getting straight to it because, you know, I kind of like the attention and doing the performances.
I'm not even mad at that answer because I hate memorization. I'm not gonna lie. That is like probably the hardest part of everything. The funnest part is writing the piece, right?
Yeah.
But then to memorize it is really difficult. But I do love the attention. And we're gonna give it all to you today, Alenny, okay? Performing A Dream of Love. Give us 2 minutes while we get ready for Alenny.
He dreamed of a world where hearts unite, where wrong is healed and turned into right. Through every march and every stand, he reached for peace across the land. Not hate, but love was his reply, a truth he would not let pass by. He showed that kindness breaks the chain, and love can rise above all pain. His voice still whispers from above. Choose hope, choose peace, and choose love.
You all are doing phenomenal. I just want to give another shout out to each and every poet that is gracing the stage. This is our last poet to interview before they get into their group piece. So I just want to give them all of that energy. So y'all give it up for these young people. Zeynab Mohammad, how are you feeling?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm really good. Can y'all give it up for Zeynab? How you feeling?
Good.
Good. What does poetry mean to you, Zeynab?
Poetry to me is a tool that I can use to express myself and my emotions without any judgment.
Did y'all practice these answers? Because the way that it is top tier.
Just a little this morning.
So good, so good. Because y'all are on point. I'm like, this is really good. What has the experience been like working with the theater elective? And I also didn't ask all of y'all what it's like to work with Jalyse.
I'm not gonna lie, I hated the class at first because it was just a lot, and it's like freshman year of high school, so it was like a lot of work. But then eventually, and then eventually I started to like the class because Jalyse was so I just love Jalyse, so.
Don't we all? She's very lovable. I love the fact that you were so transparent and was like, girl, this is a lot of work. And it's you were a freshman last year.
I'm a freshman this
You're
year.
a freshman this year. So taking that step, so we have a senior leaving and a freshman coming. You coming back for your sophomore, yes?
Yeah.
Period. With that being said, are we ready to hear your piece?
Yeah.
Yes. With that being said, y'all give us 2 minutes while we get Zeynab together to perform her piece.
Justice in America walks a winding street, echoing dreams that refuse defeat. From broken chains to voices that rise, it lives in hope, not just in laws or lies. A preacher once stood with a vision so clear, calling for a change that the world could hear. He spoke of a dream where all stand the same, not judged by color, nor burdened by shame. Yet justice still wrestles in shadow and light between what is wrong and what we call right. And every march and each outstretched hand, his dream still asks, will we finally stand? Thank you.
Give it up one more time for Zeynab Mohammad. Now, this is the part of the show where we have all of these amazing poets coming together to do a collaborative piece, also known as a choral novel in verse. We just need about 5 minutes of your time. I see some of y'all trying to head out. You do not want to miss this, so stay seated and we'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon again. As you saw, all of these poets performed original works this afternoon, but right now, you will see them do a choral novel in verse piece with all of the poets that you see behind me. This is titled Changing Along the Way. Please give it up for the theater elective at Codman Academy.
Hi everyone, my name is Alenny and we are the theater elective. And today we are performing our novel in verse called Changing Along the Way.
Hi, my name's Vicky. I'll be reciting my poem, The Silent Stretch.
Hi, my name's Zeynab. I'll be reciting my poem, Self-Love, No Apologies.
Hi, my name is Emils and I'll be reciting my poem, Those Who Have Stayed.
Hi, my name is Alenny and I'll be reciting my poem, Shadows That Walk Away.
Hi, my name is Junielia, and I'm reciting my poem, People Pleaser.
Hi, my name is Ayne, and I'll be performing my poem, Chapter 2.
Hi, my name is Maka. I'll be reciting my poem, Becoming Enough.
Hi, my name is Mychaella, and I'll be reciting my poem, The Weight I Carry.
I wonder if I look the same.
Or if my friends feel this change.
These bones grow faster than I can keep up. I grow myself daily, but I don't want to anymore.
I wear yesterday's skin loosely because it's still sore.
And in the ache, I feel of who I'm becoming.
I get used to the quiet stretch of change.
To mirrors whispering secrets I can't name. I learned that closeness doesn't stay forever.
That absence can soften in its own quiet way. I look forward to the comfort of my own laughter.
To a self that opens, steady, and bright.
Voices deep, skin riddled with pimples. My body's changing and that's okay. Through all the changes I start to understand each ache. Finding out how safe and comfortable I feel with myself.
You are not a puzzle needing to fit, nor a flame that must always be lit. You are not broken, you are becoming soft in a silence louder than humming. The mirror may speak in uncertain tones,
echoing voices that aren't your own.
but deeper than glass and louder than doubt is the truth you carry, aching to shout. You are enough, not 1 inch less, not a single dream must you possess. To be worthy of love, of air, of grace, to take up space in this time and place. No need for mask, no need to bend.
You are your first and truest friend.
And once you see your own soul's worth, you'll walk in power upon this earth. So before you chase the stars above, or seek the fleeting hand of love, pause a while, look deep inside. That's where your truest truths reside. Love yourself not just in part,
but every scar and quiet heart, the laughter loud, the silent tears.
The strength you've grown through all these years.
I grew through shadows, awkward, small, but I learned to rise and stand through it all. Now
I embrace the skin I'm in.
A quiet strand, a gentle brain. Beside me, stay
The souls who care.
With them,
My older self feels rare.
From silent doubts, I walked away and found the light of clear days. The bonds I keep are warm, not tight. They help me see myself in light. At peace, I stand with my heart unafraid, made me stronger by those who have stayed.
I trusted the words, but they were only games. Each promise built me up, only to leave me hollow. I searched for meaning in places that had none. The weight of lies stayed heavy, pressing against my chest. Holding on was drowning.
So I learned to release.
Not everyone deserves a place in the story I keep living. Letting go is a survival, a way to breathe again. If I keep what breaks me, I'll never be whole. Some people are lessons meant only to be left behind.
The pain does not vanish overnight.
It lingers like a shadow. But every step without them is proof I can still stand. I walk forward carrying scars, reminders of why I must
Let go. I'm done holding on to what don't grow. Now I breathe easier, holding my own silence. I learned that caring can hurt more than letting go. I've traded the need to please for freedom to be. Have you ever met a people pleaser?
Some stop caring what others think. Stop overthinking every word. Stop chasing to be liked. Stop bending over backwards to make others happy and end up empty, tired, broken. Some are still trying, still overthinking, still chasing, still caring too much. Me? I'm in the middle. I don't chase to be liked, but I still overthink my words.
I don't try to make everyone happy,
but I still care too much what others think. I'm working to change, to grow, so that one day I can say,
I am a former people pleaser.
I've stopped caring what others think. Stop overthinking every word. Stop chasing. I just exist. Now ask yourself,
are you a people pleaser?
If so, make that change. Be yourself. No apologies, just you.
Very small steps just to start. A whole new chapter wrote from the heart. To take a step toward a goal, you must turn a new leaf and leave the old. A better diet or a new school. Trying things can be a useful tool. You must start new to grow from the old. Like a broken vase patched with gold. Your spirit's grown and torn away from a terrible life, leading you astray. As you try new things, you'll start to see growth. And the memories of old will fade into smoke. Fixing old habits can heal the heart. You'll eventually begin to wonder why you even had them from the start.
Searching for joy in who I am as a person. Self-awareness, self-care, and solitude. Self-respect because why wouldn't I? I just found out who I truly am.
Finding out who I'm meant to be, profound. Just like weird steps on a shaky ground. Leading to steps that await, wandering the depths of my fate. Unsure, I question all I know.
But trust the truth and my spirit will eventually grow.
Finding out my path is kinda deep.
Hoping all these goals are one to keep.
Each wrong turn just means I'll learn. As my true self starts to emerge from the burn. Questioning everything, even if it's tough, 'cause I know my spirit will be enough.
I made mistakes along the way. I think about them day by day. I try to cover them, but all I see is gray. I try to run, I try to hide, but when I turn away, I feel the weight. At last, I stopped. I faced it all. The lies, the cries, the heavy fall. I used to blame the road and hide. Afraid of the truth, I'd run or lie. I let some people drift away. Not out of hate, it's just the way. Mistakes are mine, I hold them tight. Now I let them go and see a light. It should feel comfortable, never feel forced.
Coming from within is the love that I give. Filled with compassion, I accept others for who they are. I've seen what you're going through, I was once where you are.
Saturdays for the month of April, National Poetry Month. I want to thank each and every one of y'all. Thank you so much. Thank each and every one of y'all for being here in attendance. Another round of applause for these poets. I want to formally thank each and every one of you for not only providing your own original work, but performing that beautiful piece. You definitely brought tears to a lot of folks' eyes in this building, and we are so proud of you. Keep going, and for our senior, good luck. Wherever you land, they are lucky to have you. We will be rooting for you for Suffolk and for Northeastern University. I also want to know and share that we will be back next month on May 2nd. But before I even get into the rest of the script, please support this program. All you need to do is go on the website, connect with Jalyse Ware. Jalyse, if you don't get over here, I want to also say thank you so much for coming on our program. Thank you so much for all that you do. Thank you for leading the path and lighting the way for these youth. Thank you so much for your time and your energy and being up on this program. I truly appreciate it, and we at GBH love you. You're welcome. I want to thank everybody for being here this afternoon again. I do want to name, again, we did not try to coordinate today. I'm looking at it on camera, and I'm like, twin, where have you been? Like you do, nobody gonna love me. Okay, karaoke, because we will kiki. With that being said, please support this program. Connect with Jalyse. She's not gonna go anywhere right away. Give out your business card. Also, great thanks to Ben in the back for getting all of the footage. You a real one. Also to Meg, thank you so much for being here and your leadership. You made the right decision for sure. If you all are interested in performing performing, know a poet or are a poet and are like, I want to do that, yes, tap your friend. The worksheet is right there. Juan Jose, who's waving his hand, can sign you up for our next Outspoken Saturday, which is happening on May 2nd. Before we go, I want to thank the Boston Public Library for hosting us each and every single time, the News Feed Cafe for nourishing our bodies and our spirits with all of the bevs and all of the food. Y'all can get louder than that because without them we would not eat. And now can I get a beautiful round of applause for our wonderful GBH crew, because this really is a labor of love. I want y'all to give it up. Where's Maddie? Maddie Guerrero in the back doing all of our sound and tech. Give it up heavily for Maddie, because this was a challenge. We've never done a set like this, and Maddie came up and just ate this down for us. Also to Juan Jose Cadenas Dueñas. That's my partner in crime, my Aquarian brother. Hannah Thomas, Lauren Herbert, and last but certainly not least, Sandra Lopez Burke. Tina, I see you in the building. Thank you so much for being here. As we all know, my name is Amanda Shea. I am your host and curator of Outspoken Saturdays. If you want to be a part of the program, please connect with me. And thank you all so much. I hope you have a beautiful day and connect with these beautiful youth. Thank you so much and have a great day.